I don't believe in motivation. You have to have discipline and that grit in order to overcome, like I said, but when those hurdles come, it'll come with your kiddos, like doing dumb stuff. It'll come with your spouse and those issues that come up when not giving up is the only answer. I think sharing the vision is something huge. Mm-hmm. As a business owner, you have to share your vision of where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, and what's in it for me.
All right, welcome to the Superhuman Entrepreneur Show, where we help entrepreneurs level up in all parts of their life, in business, in marriage, as a father, as a spouse, all the areas. We have a special guest today, Jason Payne, who's going to pull back the curtains and unlock secrets for us and help us to learn to up level. So, Jason, thanks for being here.
Let's do it, man. Here to help.
And I have to start out with thanking you because we are sitting here in your podcast studio doing this interview. So glad you're just right up the road from me. So
absolutely.
All right. So Jason, we've talked a little bit over the past few months. When I say the word superhuman entrepreneur, what comes to your mind? So,
I go backwards. I was trying to reverse like engineer, reverse math, reverse stuff. So entrepreneur, it's not meant for everybody. It's just not. And then there's, apart from being an entrepreneur, there's like a solopreneur where it's just you. And then there's a true entrepreneur that is, that has a team and people and all that stuff. And the level of commitment. I was talking with Dory, my CEO, about the stress levels. Certain people have certain stress tolerances because they're like, Jason, they're like, the monster you're drinking, like it's going to kill you. And I'm like, everything's going to kill me. I was like, whatever. But I was like, I think stress would actually kill me before, the energy drink or whatever. We can get to that later. But like I have a higher stress level than I believe probably 99% of the world, simply because of the experiences that I've gone through and learned how to maintain that stress and how to deal with it. And as an entrepreneur, I think that's the biggest thing is when but when shit hits the fan, how do you adapt? Do you crumble? Some people get under stress. They get the spotlights underneath them and they literally just like disappear like cockroaches.
Right.
So I think of that as an entrepreneur side. And then as a superhuman, I think, okay, a human that's super. Well, most humans, in my opinion, have the ability to be super, but they choose choice. They choose not to be super, especially if you have a normal body and you don't have any, you're not missing limbs and, don't have any, any disabilities. Like you have an opportunity and you make a conscious decision to either be super or not be super, and then bundle that together. And that's if you can be a superhuman entrepreneur, that is a unicorn. So,
yeah. Well, I put you in that category. That's why I'm talking to you. So we'll talk about that. And I think I liked your explanation there because I think as we talk, we're going to kind of piece those things together. Because I want to learn more about your entrepreneur journey from when you started out to, I don't know how small you were, solopreneur to where you are now with one of the fastest growing roofing companies in Arizona, all things. And then, so let's hear more about that journey a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of pick your brain at the different skills that you developed along the way at the different levels.
Yeah. So I actually, I'm LDS. So I served a mission for my church from 2006 to 2008, went to Mexico City. So that's where I learned Spanish. Us Paynes are notorious for really, really good work ethic. So from my great grandparents all the way down, Paynes working hard is very, very common in my opinion. And so I had the work ethic, spoke Spanish, and I had a clean driver's license. So those are the three qualifications for me to get a phone call from my cousin, who obviously worked for his dad, my uncle, that owned an existing roofing company here. And he said, hey, you want to come work for us? And he's like, these are the only three things that you need. Good work ethic, clean driver's license, speak Spanish. I'm like, done. And started that in January of 2010 and started doing on the production side of things, not the sales or business, started doing production and learning how to do roofs, learning how to put them together for about 5 years, and then got into the sales role and sales management, and then became the GM for about a year, and then wanted to buy in, wanted ownership, right? Yep. And it just couldn't work out a deal, so had to leave. So I was there for about right around 9 years, and then went and sold for one of my other buddies who's still in business for a year and was their number one sales rep. And did really well there for about 13 months while I was bootstrapping State 48. In the meantime, I got married. I had 5 kids, and trying to juggle all of that. And then started State 48 Roofing in August of 2019 from scratch. But I guess something that I knew that in order to have a team, nobody does anything well by themselves. I don't care who you are. LeBron James is not who he is by himself. If it's 5 versus 1, he would lose every game by 100 points, right? And so even the Tiger Woods, like, oh, golfer, it's just him. No, it's not. He has probably a 20 to 30 person staff from trainers to the health side of things, to your blood work, to dietitians, to apart from a coach, to the swing and all those things.
Yep.
And so you have to have a team. That's something that I learned from day one. You have to have a team, and a good team. And so I actually started State 48 Roofing with me and my wife. My wife wasn't in the business then. She chose to raise our kiddos and play that card. So I hired Dory from day one, and then I had a 2-man crew. And then immediately I was already looking to hire people. And so that was been one of the biggest things is knowing that you need people to help you accomplish your goals. Plain and simple. And so, that was August 2019. COVID hit in 2020, which for some people it absolutely crushed and destroyed, I won't say lives, but made things really freaking hard for certain people and certain industries. I was in what it was bullcrap called essential is for being a blue collar service. And so we had record setting years those next 3 years. So we went from $0 in revenue to we did $1 million in our first 5 months, and went from $1 million to 3.7, 3.7 to 7.6, 7.6 to 10.1, 10.1 to 12.7, and then this last year we had 11 months of no rain, and we still did 12.1. So, which sucked because I really want to do 15, but just I had 4 or 5 buddies that I casually know in the roofing world go out of business last year because there was no rain. Yeah. So that was tough. So so here we are. Like I said, we got our office, got everything built out, and still kicking butt, taking names. And I've been doing scale stuff, different names and whatnot over the past 3 going on 4 years. Obviously, my business partner Nick. I've been doing that, and I love that. Very fulfilling, very fun, but helping mostly blue collar, not only blue collar, but mostly blue collar businesses grow and scale to. I have a book called 8 Phases to 8 Figures. Yep. How I took it from nothing and got it to 8 figures in 40 months, for lack of better words. And then I obviously have a podcast just to help bring other people on and get their voice out and get their name known. And so I'm going to steal this podcast and put it on mine, so there's a reach too. Sure. And chop it all up and tag Dr. J in those. And then like I said, I'm a dad. I'm a child of God first and foremost. Then I'm a husband. Then I'm a dad. Then I'm a business owner. In that order. And so I was grateful to create those relationships over the last 15 years, really the last 5 or 6. But it's been a fun, freaking wild ride. But that's what entrepreneurism is. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, and I love your priorities, but we're going to start from the bottom, move up with that. So business stuff. So if you remember back to the starting days in 2019, when your first crew, you and Dory, who I just is still running things for you.
Sure.
What do you think was the most important skill then for you?
Dude, the most important skill was the book that Grant Cardone wrote called The 10X Rule. And so
which is still on your desk, by the way. I saw it.
Still on my desk. It's the only book that's on my desk, apart from my book. And it's still there, and it's still a priority because we underestimate how hard it is to do something, and to do it well, and in anything, working out, getting healthy, staying healthy, dieting. We do it. It's like a fad or a honeymoon phase, or we do it for a season. Mm-hmm. We eat really well for a season. We work out for a season. We do marketing really hard for a season. I know Nick told me like the average podcast has like less than 10 episodes. And like less than 5% do over 30. So out of like all the podcasts in the world, only 5% do over 30 episodes. I'm pushing like 80 something. I'll be over 100 by the end of the year. Yeah. But yeah, it's like people just don't do enough, constant enough, long enough. And so my thing was one, there's no plan B either. Like there should never be a plan B for your spouse, right? Like,
Right.
well, if this doesn't work out, that should never entertain your head. What happens doesn't work out in business? Like, no, like you didn't go into business to go out of business. So Brandon Dawson teaches, the number one thing you do once you go into business is your number one goal is to stay in business. And that's been my biggest tip is to whatever you're doing, you need to 10x your efforts and do not listen to people who have not gone where you want to go. Plain and simple. Do not take advice from broke people. If you're trying to make money, do not take advice from a broke person. Do not take advice if you're trying to get in shape from a dude that's 100 pounds overweight. It is. And that's the biggest thing in business. It could be like lipstick on a pig.
Right.
You got to be careful because a lot of people that act like I think real estate's probably one of the biggest, examples of this. Of they show up in the nice cars and the nice outfits and all that stuff, and then you look at what they're doing sales wise. I'm like, dude, you're not doing jack crap. And so, but like, pay attention who you take advice from.
Yeah. So, that's definitely huge. So important, especially like in my world of health. There's so much bad information about health. It's crazy. But I love what you're saying about, that business skill to be able to push through because hard times are going to come, guaranteed in the entrepreneur journey. And if you don't have that skill to be able to push through, that's a good way to shut your doors.
Yeah. And some people like, that's where motivation, you can't be motivated. I don't believe in motivation. You have to have discipline and that grit in order to overcome, like I said, not if, but when those hurdles come. Right. It'll come with your kiddos, like doing dumb stuff. It'll come with, your spouse and those issues that come up, like when not giving up is the only answer. You find a way, but most people throw the towel in, and either it's getting divorced, or they stop doing X, or they stop eating right, or exercising, or they stop advertising themselves. They're like, well, this ad didn't work, or this didn't work. It's like, dude, I was like, you just gave up too soon.
Right.
Plain and simple.
So, all right, well, let's talk on that topic because I think it's important because I know this is one of the ways that you grew your business so quickly is you did something different than any other roofing company that I know. And you relied on social media, not social media ads, but own like organic posting. And so kind of tell me about that journey because I'm sure the first video you posted from a roof was mediocre at best. But so on that social media topic specifically, let's talk about you pushing through and getting better and better with that.
Well, first of all, like I was told it was stupid, like from the get-go, before I even created Jason the Roofer on Instagram and Facebook. I was told by my uncle, my cousin, like, this is dumb. It's not going to work.
And they were in that industry already, right? They're
in the industry for 30 years.
Right. So,
and he's like, I was like, hey, we need to do this thing. Like, I don't know what it is, but like you post a picture and you like say what you're doing and it's like really cool and people like it and it's all over the internet. And I don't even think the apps were there yet. Like that's how like ancient this was, right? 2010 or 9 or whatever it was. And they're like, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. But like, we're not going to put any money into it. And this isn't like ads or a team or edit, like reels weren't there. Captions weren't there. It was literally like posted a picture or a video. And then you could like write in the description what it is. And that was about as basic as Facebook and Instagram was. There weren't stories there, or there weren't stories then and all that stuff. So that's kind of been the thing with me is from day one, it's like, if you want to go do something, plan on doing it alone. And those that do get on board, do not find those people are very few and far between, and keep those people for life. Nick is one of those. Nick's been through the ups and downs with me, the highs and lows. Not going to get into that because I'll start crying. But like, those people you ride with. But yeah, social media is the thing. It's free. Doesn't cost you any money. In roofing, we take before and after pictures and before and after videos anyways. So I already have all the content. So it's not like, oh, I got to create this content or go hire a team. It's like, dude, I have an iPhone with a camera that is literally better than ABC's cameras in 2005. Like, you know what I mean? Our iPhones are so advanced. And I'm like, just press record and tell people what you do. And then I averaged it out. I did over about 13, 14 years, one post a day every single day to put me over. I mean, I think I'm pushing close to 7,500 posts. But it's free. It really doesn't take you that much time either. but it's where everybody is, and it doesn't cost you anything. Like I have truck wraps, those are $5,000. I have billboards, those are $6,000 a month. You have, TV and radio, that's thousands of dollars a month. Like Instagram, I'm surprised they haven't started charging for it, to be honest. Like you have ads, but like the free stuff, like I've done over $4 million in revenue from free raw organic posting. Like,
Right. And that doesn't happen with one post or two.
no.
It's your, what is it, 7,500? Is that what you
Yeah, that is, and but it's not an extreme. It's not like, oh, I'm going to post 100 times over the next, 30 days. Like you could do that and that'll help. But like, what if you just did one a day, every day for 365 days? Mm-hmm. I'd rather see that because the consistency of you showing up every single day, just like going to the gym. Right. You try and go do 3 days at the gym for a month.
Right.
And I'll go to the gym once a day for a year and I will smoke you.
For sure.
Because it's consistency. Like the extremism of posting in my opinion, does not exist. And the algorithms are now smart enough and AI is now smart enough to where it'll flag your stuff and kick you out if you try and, do that kind of crap. So,
right. So, okay. And then now your team is doing more of the social media stuff. You're not hanging out on roofs very often anymore. So kind of what was kind of that transition and how were you able to help your team and train your team to start doing that?
So what I believe in, and this really helped them with their identity, is I give all of our team members, whoever wants to do it, I help them create basically their own Instagram and Facebook profile, because especially in sales, my sales guys are straight commission. So they eat what they kill. They kill a whale. There's no cap. Like I have sales reps. All my sales reps make between $100,000 and $175,000 a year. So they make good money. Yeah. With no risk. Other than like you got to close deals on a monthly basis to pay your bills, but like the ROC complaints, the lawsuits, the overhead, all that stuff. Literally like show up, close a deal, just do that every day. Yep. And so with them, I wanted them to be able to create their own book of business and to create their own identity to where people won't just call State 48 Roofing, but they'll call that sales rep. Right. And if they call that sales rep, that works for me, I win. Right. And the team wins, but he also gets that lead instead of just going, we call it the hopper. Right. So it comes to the office, it's literally based off of logistics, first come, first serve, who's the most available, who's in the area, who's in that side of town type deal. And whoever gets it, right? But when you build your own brand, I learned it from Sean Whalen, like be your brand. And I call them entrepreneurs. So everybody that works for me, I try to create them or make them an entrepreneur, have them own their own business and own their own job description, whatever it is, own that and create a brand around that indirectly for me, right? But directly for them because they're not going to be here forever. And I understand that, right? You might have a couple lifers, but I mean, I have 80 employees, right? It's just not going to, they're going to come and go. It's just inevitable, right? And so that's kind of been one of my biggest things was helping them create their own profile and create their own identity, and then help them use that brand and use that identity to make money for themselves and indirectly my company.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's awesome too, because as you invest in them and helping, encourage them to build up themselves, and then they can see how doing that helps them to achieve their ultimate vision of their life. Totally. Which, if along the way for however many years they work for you, they can help you to fulfill your vision even better, right? But yeah, so many times I talk to entrepreneurs and they're afraid of that. They're afraid to really invest in their people like that. And so where did that mindset come for you, and why did you know that's what you need to do for your team?
Honestly, mentorship from shameless plugs: Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Tommy Mello, Alex Hermosi, local guys, Cam Bodden, one of my buddies that owns Green Mango, just sold it. Like these guys that have built, have 120, 130, 140 employees. I think Tommy said he's like 2,000 employees now. Mm-hmm. And so listening to these guys, they said like culture is everything. And, not to dig, but like I worked for people in places where the culture sucked. I was there for 9 years and I went through 8 office managers in 9 years. So the turnover was ridiculous and they had to retrain them, and then they're inexperienced, or you're not paying them well enough. So then they leave, or you're not paying them well enough. So they're inexperienced or suck at their job, and you got to train them from zero. Mm-hmm. And I just realized, I'm like, hey, if you really invest in people, and Tommy Miller preaches this all the time and I love it. And I'm always looking for A players. because you can replace like 3 or 4 B and C players with one A player. But that one A player is not cheap, but that one A player will give you more than like 2 or 3 C players combined. And so when you truly understand that mindset of like you want to work with winners, you want to work with it's an addiction in my opinion. It really is. It's addicting. And if you have a winner's mindset and a winning mentality and a positive outlook and you're optimistic and you're going for it and you share that vision, I think sharing the vision is something huge. As a business owner, you have to share your vision, where you're going to go, how you 3 things, where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, and what's in it for me. Because as a society, we are a selfish person, right? I want Jason on my podcast because I want to learn from him and use his likeness and do yada, 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 right? And in return, hey, Dr. J, come on my podcast. Why? Because everybody knows Dr. J now knows Jason Payne, right? And it's not a bad thing, right? It really isn't. But your team members need to know why they should stay there instead of going to your competitor or just changing industries. And when they know where you want to go and how you're going to get there, that's great. But those both benefit you as the business owner, but not the team member directly. So the third part has to be, okay, what's in it for them? Very, very clear. Here's why you're here. Here's how you help the business. Here's how we help you. And it's a win-win. And then you have to resell them on that vision. All the time, right? But if they truly understand like why you're trying to build it and what's in it for them, it's a win-win formula.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's so key. And even I was talking with my team about that earlier today too. So, cause we're much smaller, we're only at 6 employees right now as we grow and accelerate. But yeah, even I've seen it, cause I've seen your guys, your trucks around town. Like you can see even down to the type of truck you buy, cause you want all of your guys to want to drive that truck. You don't want it to be just the one that has a little logo slapped on the side. No, it's wrapped, it's big, it's fancy, looks nice. And, all the other roofers are driving around like, oh, dang, I wish my truck was as nice as that State 48 truck.
Tommy Mello taught me that. He's like, you show up in a brand new vehicle that's wrapped, you can charge more. Just like straight up, threw it out there. I'm like, touche. He's like, because if somebody can show up in a wrapped vehicle, one, they care about their brand. You can't hide. I love that word. Can't hide. I cannot hide. I can't hide anything. My home address is publicly out there. I cannot hide. And so that gives people tranquility and calmness and reassurance that this person, this business coach, this roofer, this entrepreneur, this business owner is not going to disappear on me and scam me. He cannot hide. And the other part is if it's a nice one, he can afford it. And some people, if they have the wrong mindset, they're not my clients anyways. Like, wait, I'm paying. I've seen people that talk shit from, on social media or whatever, like, all you're doing is paying for their big trucks. And I'm like, a big truck is literally like maybe $5,000 for a lift and wheels and tires. It's not, it doesn't go, it's the silliest thing, but the mindset of like, oh man, you're paying for their big trucks and you're paying for this and paying for that. I'm like, yes, you are. Because guess what? It keeps me in business. And your warranty goes to crap if I go out of business. So if I don't charge enough, right? And if you want to break down on the side of the road, then I can't show up and do your roof. And a rainstorm comes in and floods your house. And now you're pissed at me because I had an unreliable vehicle that broke down the side of the road that couldn't come fix your roof. Instead of like, no, they showed up with a reliable vehicle that doesn't leak in the driveway, that doesn't leak hydraulic fluid from your dump trailer in the driveway. Happens all the time. Yeah. You see guys laying carpet or the metal tins or plastic underneath. Why? Because they have vehicles that are garbage or leaking or whatever. I don't want that crap. That represents you. What if Tommy? You think Tommy Mello would ever allow a van to show up at one of his properties to go sell a freaking garage door and it be leaking? No freaking way. Right. And you got to set the standard and set the expectation of like, no, we do shit right, but that comes with a price. Yep. You can go get it cheaper, right? You can go get medical work done, dental work is like the fad, right? Go down to Tijuana or whatever and go get dental work done for a third of the price. Yeah, but like look at the quality that you're getting, and it's down there on purpose. That's why you're not going down the street and paying triple. Why? Right. Because of the value that is given, but that value is not free. Cheap is cheap on purpose. That's why I call it cheap.
Yeah. Well, and then too, what happens is that same value is everywhere in your company. So not only, is that warranty going to still be good, but those people that work for you are happier. They're going to perform better, work better. They're going to make sure everything's perfect. So you're less likely to have a leak in your roof or garage door, whatever XYZ thing. Yeah. And so that's the key, because you get those A players, You pay him a value, provide the A service. Everyone has that.
Yeah, put one of your service technicians or one of your sales reps in a brand new truck or a newer truck, and watch them smile, because they might not drive as nice of a truck. Most of the time, they don't. But like when they go into their work truck, it's clean, it smells good, it's new. They take that vibe and that mentality to the customer. That's what we do. It's clean, it's pretty, it's detailed. And that's how we're going to take care of your house.
Exactly.
But when you show up with two-tone paint and a piece of crap thing that's leaking, there's automatically doubt of like, what am I going to expect from this guy? Right?
Yeah, some duct tape holding those the roof together.
Or I always make fun of the guys with magnets. I'm like, why do you have a magnet? So you can pull it off, so you can disappear, so you can hide.
Right.
It's like, you can't, like, I wrap my own personal vehicle. Why? Dude, come find me. Like, it's, I have nothing to hide, but I also stand behind my work and behind my team and what we do, but it also comes with the price.
Yeah, so for sure. Hey, Dr. J here. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast and like the information that we're providing, be sure to subscribe and leave a review and like the podcast, because it helps us to be able to expand our reach to find other entrepreneurs. Your support helps us to reach other entrepreneurs and help us to help them truly unlock their superhuman potential and make the world a better place. All right, so Jason, today, what is your focus on? What skills are you developing to be able to take your business to the next level? You've come so far in these 5 years. What's next? What do you focus on? How are you becoming a better leader? What skills are you learning?
So, my biggest thing that I learned is knowing my numbers better, knowing my KPIs better. I know what they are, but how can I make them better? How can I make them more in my favor? Instead of just trying to do as much revenue as possible, how can I also save more money or learn where to invest more money? And I haven't entertained it exactly yet. I'm not going to tell you guys here, but acquiring other businesses, whether it's other roofing companies or other blue collar companies, that's on the horizon for sure. Because there's a huge need for it. That's one of them, but developing people is probably my next biggest move, because if you don't have any people to develop, then your number one job is to develop people. But once you hire those people, it's the quality of the people that if you can make them more valuable, they will make you more money. But a lot of those times they might have the grit, the mindset, and the willingness to develop, but you as the leader need to develop them. Most of the time, they're not going to develop themselves. That's where leadership comes in. And if you can take someone that is willing, Brandon Dawson teaches hire for hunger and for energy. Like you know how to do roofing, you know how to sell, cool. But if you come in and you're ready to work your ass off and go to town and work 12 hours a day and put in the work, and you're willing to train on our training platforms, and you're willing to do what I tell you to and ask questions, and you come in, you have a positive, optimistic outlook and energy, like I will take that all freaking day. I can teach you roofing. That's the easy part. I cannot beg you to come and show up on time or show up with the willingness or giving a servant heart or the optimism or that energy. I cannot bring that for you. Kind of they say, especially in the medical world, like you can't outsource push-ups.
Right.
Like,
as much as that'd be super awesome, because I have an amazing team that will do amazing push-ups for you, but that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like I don't care who you are. Like Elon Musk, cool. I heard Jeff Bezos the other day. There's Amazon's valued at $1 trillion. Doesn't matter if Jeff Bezos and he only owns 19% of Amazon. If he sold those 19%, he would be already is more than a billionaire. He'd be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Cool. Jeff Bezos will still be fat and out of shape, which he's not. But he would be fat and out of shape if he did not put in the work.
Right.
Put down the ding dong, eat the protein and some sort of steps, and do X or Y or Z and make it a priority.
For sure. And like we've seen that because Jeff Bezos has been in the spotlight for a long time now. And where was he 20 years ago? He did not look like he looks now. He's been doing the work.
Zuckerberg,
right? And Zuckerberg, exactly,
like kickboxing and all that crap. Now, like he was the dork in the in the computer in the back room. That was. I feel like it might be genes or whatever, but I never saw him as a heavy guy. But he's ripped.
Yeah.
Grant Cardone,
yep.
freaking
Another good
60.
example.
How is it? 65 now? 67. freaking six pack,
Right.
right? But like, and he's a billionaire. But you can cut a check for blood work and for like, obviously you have a great testimonial for Tommy Mello going from 20+% to 10, was it 10.1 at that as an event?
10.5, 27 to 10.5.
27 to 10.5. It's like, but you couldn't do, no matter how much money he gave you.
Right.
Here's just unlimited amount of money. Tommy will not get that way unless he has the discipline to put down the alcohol or put down the Twinkies and drink the water and go to the gym
Yep.
consistently.
Right.
You have to put in. That's what I love about that. Like, talk shit about Andy Elliott all you want. The dude, like, he has to put in the work.
Yep.
You have to.
And you have to be consistent, because even there's a good Andy Elliott quote that I love, that he's like, I can't eat a cheeseburger. What if someone saw me eating a cheeseburger? Like, he would, like, his whole thing would be over, right?
Destroyed. Yeah.
But it's just being consistent, being excited, and driven to be able to make those things happen. So, okay, well, I think this is a good chance for a segue. The wonderful business ideas there, because really any type of business can take that information and apply it to what you're doing in business, how you can invest in your people, build that culture. So how do you do that at home? Because I know as entrepreneurs, we love to just be busy, work 120 hours a day and 10 days a week. But how do you, and I'm sure there's been ups and downs along the journey, because you're an entrepreneur, and so that's just how it happens. But so now kind of what's your focus? How do you keep that balance? Keep your 5 kids happy, keep your wife happy, all that.
So great communication. Just like you have to build your team of what is your vision, how are you going to get there, how long are you going to get there, what's it going to take to get there, and what's in it for me. I tell my kids, like, if you go ask my kids, like, why does that go to work? Pay our bills, make money, and serve people. Like, those are the 3 reasons, right? And they understand that. So when they like, they're at the zoo right now, they're on spring break, I am working. But they understand that, like, but the cool part is when you're an entrepreneur, I don't let the school system dictate my spring break. If I want to take my kids away for a week, we bounce for a week. And then to school, I don't care. Missing a week of school, like, if they're dumb, they're going to be dumb, whether they miss that week or not. And if they're going to be smart, 1 week of school ain't going to make them any smarter or dumber, right? It's just not a thing,
right,
in my opinion. But great communication has saved my marriage for sure. I told my wife when we started, I said, I need 3 I said 5 years. It only took about 3, but I said, I need 5 years of, like, you support it when, like, yes, ma'am, for anything. Right. And so, like I said, if I'm gone, I'm putting in long hours, that kind of stuff. I don't want shit. I want support. It's going to suck for you. It's definitely going to suck for me. It's probably going to suck for you, especially when you're having kids and babies, and I'm not going to be there as much as you would like me to be, but we need to do this for a season. Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't mean I disappeared for 3 years. It just means that no joke, my schedule for, this is apart from working for my uncle. When the hailstorm hit in 2010, if you guys were here in 2010 when the hailstorm hit in October, I was married to a different woman at the time, but I was literally working 18-hour days. Like, I would literally just, the only time I was at home was to sleep for 6 hours, and then I was back on the road. And so, but with the last 13 years with my wife have been awesome, but it really comes down to great communication and selling them, hey, this is why I'm doing this. These are the results that I will get. So, like, be a man of your word. I wasn't a man of my word for a long time. And so she didn't trust me. So there's no trust there. There's resentment, or there might be entitlement or expectation, unrealistic expectations that don't get met because you promise one thing and then you do something else. Or you promise one thing and then it never happens. And I did that with my kids too. Like, hey, Dad, can we go play basketball before we go to bed? Or can we go on a dirt bike ride before we go to bed? Yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden, oh, it's late. Like, let's just go to bed. We'll do it tomorrow. And doing that over and over. Or I'd punish them, like, hey, because you hit your brother, you don't get to go on a dirt bike. He's like, you didn't say, like, as long as you make good choices, you can go on a dirt bike ride. You said you would do it.
Right.
That's my biggest thing. I was breaking my kids' hearts for like 2 or 3 years till my wife literally just shook me. And she's like, dude, like, keep your freaking word. I don't care how small it is. How small it is or how big it is. If you're saying you're going to be somewhere, be somewhere. We're going to be there at that time. And if you say you're going to freaking take them on a dirt bike ride, I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, when you say you're going to take them, take them. I don't care how tired they are. I don't care how tired you are. If you say you're going to jump on the trampoline with them, freaking jump on the trampoline. With my wife, hey, you say you're going to be home at 5 o'clock? This is like, this video actually went viral where she's like, I told her, hey, she's like, hey, what time I'll be home today? So she can, people say, hey, we're going to be home. Not like, I want you home. Like, I'm trying to plan the rest of the evening for food and baths. And those who have kids, I have 14 down to 3, right? So like the whole diaper phase and food and bedtime, all that stuff, that's like those 3 hours are psychotic, right?
Oh, for sure.
And so she wants to know when I'm going to be home. So mentally, she knows that I can come in and help her mentally and physically. And she just kind of wants to know, like, is it 4:30? Is it 6? Is it whatever? So I'll be home at 5 o'clock. Okay, cool. I showed up at 5:03, and she's like, "You're late." And I was like, "Dude, I've been working since 5 a.m. I worked 12 hours nonstop, middle of summer, dripping. Just dripping sweat, hot mess. It freaking exhausted. Going to town, all so I can pay the bills and all those things." And I'm like, what the hell is your problem? And we had like legitimate fights about this. I'm like, you're absolutely you are unreal that you would literally have the balls to tell me that I'm late 3 minutes, not 3 hours, 3 minutes late. She's like, well, why'd you tell me 5? If you're telling me 5, be home at 5. And it wasn't the fact that I was home 3 minutes late. Nobody died because I was home 3 minutes late.
Right.
But the principle was, when you say you're going to do something, do it. And she's like, because then you let me down, and then you let your kids down. And once you let me down, if you let me down once, it means your brain's already done it once. It means you'll be okay doing it again. And that I have to be okay with you doing it again. I'm not okay with you doing it again. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy shit. And so now I learned my lesson. And that took years to overcome and a lot of fights. So there's a free tip.
Yes.
Saves a lot of therapy money too, by the way. But the thing was, okay, cool. So I'm like, hey, I'll be home between 5 and 5:30. It gave me a buffer. Because I would leave the office at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and it's 29 minutes to get to my house. Assuming nothing happens. But assume something happens, hey, I'll be home between 5:30 and 6. Mm-hmm. Or I do the squiggly sign more or less around 5:30. So I'm home at 5:32, like, hey, I told you I could be home 5 minutes before 5:30 or 5 minutes after. And also, something that I learned was make sure that you give yourself some grace period to do X, right? Like I was here early for the podcast, ready to go and I was going to go run an errand. I was going to go to Home Depot and get a thermal gun for some stuff, a little test that I'm doing. And I was like, if I do that, it's going to be really close to this podcast. I was like, no, because I told you 2 or 3 o'clock or whatever it was. Yeah. Not like, hey, it's going to be 3:05 because I went to go get something. No, like we're at 3 o'clock, my butt's here, we press record and we go. And so be a man of your word, not just in business, but with your kids, with your spouse, and the hardest one, which we don't have time for today, yourself. Mm-hmm. Stop lying to yourself.
Yeah. Well, and because that ripple effect of, just that 3 minutes late for when you told your wife, that workout in the morning, you're like, oh, I woke up 3 minutes late, I'm not going to go today. And then you're not taking care of you. And then that just starts the downhill spiral.
Big time.
But it's because it's all connected.
Yep.
There's no difference between what you say you're going to do at business versus what you say you're going to do with your wife or your kids versus yourself.
100%.
You were the same everywhere. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Bingo.
So definitely that's so important. Okay, and then I was going to also mention, because my wife is the same way. She calls me out all the time. I think that relationship between a husband and wife is the ultimate relationship for personal growth. Because when you can actually talk and communicate clearly with each other and help each other step up, that's the ultimate way to accelerate personal growth.
Yeah. If your wife is like mine, where she was holding me accountable, she wasn't doing it to be a bitch or doing it to be disrespectful or to make me feel bad. She was holding me to a higher standard. That is sexy. That's appealing. That's attractive. If your spouse isn't doing that, that means they're settling, which is also another word that I hate. Settling, mediocrity, tolerating,
average.
If people are doing that, you don't want your spouse doing that, because I wouldn't want my spouse. I don't want my spouse to settle for X or Y or Z. She shouldn't either. Mm-hmm. So that's where you have to have the hard conversation. You have to be willing and humble yourself to hey, I'm not telling you this because I think you're a piece of crap. I'm telling you this because I expect more from you.
Yeah. And I love you that much.
And I love you. Yes. And I love you that much. And that is where your wife is your superpower. Plain and simple. I don't care if you're married, your wife is your superpower, and she will bury you and your dreams and your business and your money I'm being dead serious. Or she will help you accomplish your goals faster than anyone else, even a mentor, and help you get to where you want to go in a more harmonic, peaceful, happy way than anyone else. That's why you have to be dialed in with her first.
Absolutely. That should be posted on every entrepreneur website, social media account. I totally agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, there's a mastermind that I've been invited to speak at in a couple of weeks. And one thing I love that they do, so it's a husband and wife that run it. And maybe you know them, they're in the blue collar industry. They're Clover Marketing. So
Okay.
Jason and Laura Kelly. But their masterminds, they tell all the business owners to bring their spouses. And there's a spouse track and there's the owner track. And it's just so amazing to see that they're doing that. And it comes down to what you just said, because when there's lots on both sides of going on with entrepreneurship, of running the business and then running the home to make sure that everything's working good, that my wife and your wife put up with, and we got to reward them for that sometimes too.
Absolutely. And I just did a couple's mastermind dinner.
Right,
Same thing for 3 hours. And I brought in Michael Burnoff, who's the master of communication. My buddy Josh, my wife spoke. And that is one of the biggest needs right now that nobody talks about and nobody teaches, or very, very few people touch on. They'll show you how to grow your business and do 8 figures and do all these things. But and I feel like even certain religions are even, they talk about God, but do they give you actionable steps and to better your marriage and better yourself as a human and better yourself as a parent and as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, trying to juggle all the balls. And that's where I feel like my calling now more than ever has been. That is, there's a reason why Heidi and I have gone through what we have, and we are selfish if we do not share that with other couples who are business owners and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I remember when I saw your email that went out for that event, and I was like, oh dang, we already had something scheduled that night, or we totally would have been there. So next time, me and my wife will be there.
Well, I'm gonna be giving out the recording too. So that'll be I'm gonna turn it into a podcast and then roll it out. So
that's awesome. And then I heard a really great quote just today, I think I saw it, by Jeffrey Holland. And he talked about in the whole creation of the world, you mentioned religion, and we share this similar religious background there. But he talked about the ultimate final creation was a woman. And men were there, whatever, Adam started working in the garden, but God wasn't done until woman was created. And so that we need to remember that as men who are the providers, the builders, the entrepreneurs, how great a gift our wives are.
Oh yeah, dude, we are so entitled, and we take for granted how amazing they are. So you got to sit back and realize, holy crap, how much that person gives and trusts you, and gives their all to you, from having kiddos to sharing a life together, trusting that you're gonna show up and fulfill. There's people say, hey, why do you do what you do? I'm like, dude, I have a wife that I made promises to. I promised myself stuff. I promised my wife stuff. I promised my kids stuff. No offense, screw everybody else. I promised them certain things, and it is your job to fulfill it. And once you find that harmony with your spouse, some never find it. Some might find it on accident. But being I've been in therapy for 2 years, and it's been the biggest blessing ever and my wife and I have never been closer, never been more on the same page, which makes my roofing company on fire, which makes my coaching business on fire. And because the communication is there, the expectations are there, and the goal and the visions are the same. And listen to them. They're very, very smart. I thought my wife, true story. Once again, don't do this. I told my wife, I was you've never owned a business. You don't know what it's like working, 12 hours a day with these guys and trying to juggle all this and do all that stuff. I'm like, you've never owned a business and with all these employees, you don't know what it's like. Because she's worked for 22 years for In and Out. But as a team member, not as the business owner. I'm like, you never ran a business. And I literally said that to her. And I was like, holy shit, what am I doing?
Right.
And then I humbled myself, apologized, realized what I said. And I'm like, technically I was right. But she's like, there's so many things that I see because I see the people that are trying to destroy you and take advantage of you, and you don't see that. I get to be up here seeing you do that, and I have that gift that you don't have. And I realized like, oh my gosh. And once I started leaning on her for counsel of like, what should I do with this person and that person? She's at all my interviews. If we ever hire somebody, if she doesn't want to go, she doesn't go. But I give her first dibs like, hey, if you want to be in the interview, male or female, come interview with them. If you like them, she'll literally say yes or no. Yes, we hire them. No, it doesn't matter how good they are. Non-negotiable, they're not invited. And that's been one of the biggest things is like, get your spouses involved. Andy Elliott trick, by the way, I want to steal this, but I can't. You get your team member's spouse in the hiring interview. The final interview, you bring in the spouse, because what you're doing is you're basically, Grant's book, Sell or Be Sold, you're selling the spouse on the fact that you are going to require more time to be from him or her to be with you and your company more than them, and that you have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
But in return, what are your goals? That's why I do PPFs. What are your goals as a family? So I, as a business owner, can help you and your family achieve your goals through the efforts of your spouse that works for me. And when you can sit down and write out those goals with their spouse, nobody does that.
Right.
Two, you'd be like, what the heck's going on? But the buy-in from the spouse by doing that hiring interview, I don't do it with girlfriends or boyfriends. They got to be like married for whatever reason. But when you truly understand that, when you get that spouse on board, it's not a fight for time. It's a goal for purpose.
Right. So that goes right back to where we were starting with that whole conversation of investing in the people. And like you said, it's not just, that person is not just, the roofer or the sales guy. They are a whole person. They have kids and a wife and all things. So you gotta understand that. So, all right. As we're wrapping up here, any last secret gold nuggets that you wish that every entrepreneur knew, or any big mistakes that you see happen with entrepreneurs a lot that you want to help people to avoid?
I guess my biggest advice for you, if you're an entrepreneur, is to take advice from people who have been where you want to go and have done what you want to do, past tense, or are doing. You're actively doing it. I had people like, oh, back in 1995 or 2005, I did this and that. I'm like, dude, that was like pre-iPhones, like pre-computers. Like, get out of here. Not even relatable. That would be my thing, is pay for mentorship. Find people in your industry, in your sphere, that have done what you want to do. Pay them. Those are shortcuts. But there's no shortcuts in business. 100% bullshit. There are definitely shortcuts. And it's finding the people that have already been where you want to go. And they will tell you the roadmap of, hey, if you turn left here, it's a dead end. It's like a maze, right? And it's like somebody sitting on top, like, oh, I already been through the maze. Make sure you turn left here and right here and go over this and turn around there and jump here and skip there. But, oh, hey, don't talk to that person. Don't shake that hand. Don't create that relationship. Go this way. Right. And as you deviate through that, and that's how you get through there faster. I believe we're all going to get there, as long as you don't give up.
Right.
But do you want to get there at a snail pace, or do you want to get there as the hare? Do you want to get there quickly? And mentorship, in my opinion, has been the biggest thing. I invest 6 figures a year for multiple years, going to conferences, going to masterminds, and to find out those little nuggets from each of those people, to implement into my business, into my SOPs, into my marriage, into my family, to get where I want to go faster and enjoy the journey, but still get there quickly. And as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that, like, it's going to require more money, it's going to require more time, it's going to require more effort. Mm-hmm. So however, as much as I hate Dave Ramsey and his philosophy on money and that kind of stuff of like getting out of debt and saving everything, like, he does. He teaches this lesson that I truly love, and I've learned that's really helped me, is when you do a remodel on a house, he's like, double your budget financially and double your time for how long it's going to take to do the project. He's like, 99% of the time, you're going to be closer to that number. If you double it, you're going to be closer to that budget number and the time it takes to accomplish that. Same thing for business.
Yep.
However long, it's going to take me this long. It's going to take you twice as long. It's going to cost me this much. It's going to cost you twice as much. I'll give you an example. This building, our initial bid was like $280,000 to do this TI. We finished out at like 600, like ironically. And I think they said 6 or 8 months and we were 12, right? So like, so that principle stays the same. Now that doesn't mean that you can't get it done faster. That just means that you're going to put in more energy, more time, more commitment, and people that tell you to slow down or take it easy or be grateful or any of that stuff. Like, dude, those people have already given up on their dreams and they don't want you to accomplish theirs because it'll make them inferior and it'll make them feel inadequate and you'll create an animosity with them because you're going for it and they are not, or they stopped. And you do not want to attract, hang out with, or affiliate with those people. I don't care if it's your parents. I don't care if it's your, well, hopefully it's not your spouse, family members, community, church. If it's your team members, get rid of them, right? Like, you do not want to be around those people. Like, be great. Jason, you're doing, 10, 12 million a year. Like, dude, you're killing it. You're cranking. You're making all this money, doing all those things. Like, dude, slow down, or like spend more time with your family, this or that. I'm like, dude, shut the hell up. Because that's not got me where I am.
Right.
And you have not done what I have done or where I want to go and what I want to do. So it would not make sense for me to take advice from you to do those things of take your foot off the gas, let up, do less, scale back. Like, no, that's not how it got me to where I am. And that's not going to help you get to the next level of whatever it is that you want to do.
Right. Well, because as soon as you take that foot off the gas, you're going to be right there with that person who's complaining, not making progress.
Misery loves company. But the misery part, like they don't show up with like a bottle of tequila or a gun and like they're depressed and they're miserable. They don't. It's not that extreme. It doesn't come off as that extreme. It's like, hey man, we're gonna go to. We got invited to Mexico for spring break. We got invited to all these places, and I'm like, hey, I was like, no, it rained. Like, I need to be here for my team, and I need to be here making money and doing what I need to do to accomplish that next goal. And I got crap for it. Dude, it's spring break, you only have so many of this and so many of that. It's like, the difference between me and you is that you had to ask for time off to go on your spring break. I can say I'm leaving tomorrow and go for a month. That's the difference. Right. They can't do that. So they have to use when the school system tells them to do X or Y or Z. But once again, like, pay attention to those people because they are not far away from you. They're in your phone, they're in your DMs, they're in your text messages. They might be under your roof or close to your roof, and you have to do an audit. Always be auditing your people. And it's the dumbest thing in the world, but it's the most powerful thing in the world that people make fun of is you are the circle of the 5 people. You're the sum of the average of the 5 people you hang out with monetarily, most of the time physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, all the leads, right? And you have to be continually auditing. And in my opinion, people should be coming and going always because you're always trying to level up. And some people will be like, I want to go here. It happens with team members all the time, by the way. All the time. I'm here. They come on, right? I'm excited. I'm jacked up. I want to help you. Let's do this. And they go and go and go. And all of a sudden they hit a cap. And then you try and push them and they hit a cap. And not because of you, but because of them. Like, I don't want to take on more responsibility. I don't want to do more. I don't want to. That seems really hard, or that's long hours, or that's going to take too long, or wham. And they stop. But you're continuing trying to go. You cannot. You either need to separate or continue to push them to grow. Dory's been a great example for me the past 5 years. She was here. I need you to do this. She's like, no, I don't want to, but like, I know what this looks like. Help me. And then we'll go. Okay. So the version of her now, it's really cool to see when you have employees for several years, see them like 5 years ago and see where they are today, from their weight to their mindset. I wish mindset had pounds attached to it. Yeah. I wish people...
Or there was a better KPI for measuring mindset.
Yes. I wish, like the David Goggins, they call them mental callus. I wish your mental callus you could see on a 100-inch screen TV. Mm-hmm. I wish you could see it and not on not inside your head, whereas weight, you can physically see it. And the strength of people's mental maturity as they develop. Because you can see people lose weight, like Tommy Mello. You can see him, like the dude, he was just in Cabo, looks freaking jacked. You can see that. Bree looks great too, by the way. Like, they look really, really well physically, but how do they look emotionally and spiritually and mentally? Those ones you can't see, but in my opinion, are way more important in regards to measuring metrics of their growth. And that is true success, is helping other people win along the way.
Yeah. No, and like you mentioned, Tommy and Bree, and yeah, like we can see the DEXA scan and see Tommy's improvement. But like my favorite thing is like he'll send me random texts like, dude, thanks so much. Like that's just, you can see that change that's happening, because like, especially if you've known Tommy for a few years,
Sure.
Like that didn't used to be Tommy. And
oh yeah, so. I have videos of him lifting up his shirt and he has his beer belly like right above his belt, and his belt, that was what, 2-3 years ago on my stage to now, and I'm like, dude, like congrats. So he's a byproduct of what you guys are doing. So whatever you're doing, keep it up. So
well, we're trying. You talked about those finding the secrets to speed up those results, and that's what we try to do with people.
Yeah,
with health,
you are a shortcut. Plain and simple. I don't care who you are. Yep. Blood work and all those things, dieting, those are all shortcuts to get to where you want to go.
Yep. All right. So we've been talking about it off and on for a little bit while now. So I'm going to kind of call you out on this. Sure. Wasn't planning on doing this, but so how important is health for an entrepreneur?
Dude, health is everything. Health is everything. And the reason why is because when you truly understand, once you don't have it, you realize how valuable it is. Once you realize how valuable your health is and you don't get it or don't have it, whether it's an illness, whether it might something like cancer, a car accident, maybe it's something that you inherited, right? It's genetics. We all take our health for granted, in my opinion, every single one of us. Mm-hmm. And when you are performing at optimal levels physically, it's a shortcut to get you to where you want to go financially and those and everything else in life and in business. Because if not, it is a distraction. I was just talking about this at lunch with one of my manufacturer reps, and we talked about one of my buddies who's overweight, and I call him out all the time, and I do it out of love, because I'm like, dude, I was like, he's so sharp here, but I'm like, how much more sharp could you be, or how much less distracting could your body be, to where I'd focus on what you're saying instead of looking at, that, mm-hmm. And that's not a nice butt. That is a love handles, the inner tube,
yeah.
And then apart from that, like, what does your sleep look like? What does what does, and we talk about consumption of like health, like the mental, like what are you consuming? And that's reading that book, the average millionaire reads 50 books a year and goes to 6 conferences. And some people talk shit about it, and to each their own opinion. But my thing is, like, I wasn't doing either. I wasn't reading books, and I wasn't going to conferences, and I was listening to the radio. And I was like, the radio will never make you money ever. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy songs. Who doesn't love a good Johnny Cash or a good whatever, right? Who doesn't love a good song? But that's not the point. The point is what are you consuming both literally and mentally, to where it can either help you get to where you want to go or not help you to get where you want to go, and then it compounds.
Right. Absolutely. All right, we can dive on this topic for another hour, but
sure.
Let's wrap up here. All right, so then this is where my call out is for you, because my office is 7 minutes from where we're sitting in these chairs right now. So
sure.
We got to get you in and get you rolling and see if we can get what type of results we can get for
Let's
you.
do it. 100. I'm totally in.
So we can be following up sometime down the road in a few months and see kind of how your progress is. And
yeah. The other thing too, like you said, with your testing and all the things that you do, you need to know what's working and what's not working.
Right.
And by the way, your body is always changing. And so what might be working for you when you were, obviously, this because of everything on TVs and movies and big pharma and all that bull crap of like, people will tell you like, okay, you have low T. Who knows that you're going to have low, if you're a guy, you're going to have low T in your 30s. Why? Because the companies have spent billions with the B of dollars telling you that you have low testosterone in your 30s. You need to get it checked out. You need to get it fixed, and you need to start taking this. And so all those things, and that's just one example of hundreds.
Right.
But like but you're always changing. So the same body that you had at 20 is not 25 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 60. So you need to know like what your body needs. But if you don't do an analysis of what your body needs, think of like roofing, right? If you don't go and look at the roof and see what the condition of it is, good, bad, or otherwise, or in scale, if I don't look at your business and be like, dude, you're doing this, like you're actually making profit, but you're gambling all of it on online poker. Like if you don't do an audit of your business, you never know if it's going to grow or do better. If you don't do an audit of your body, you don't know what you need to adapt or change or start or stop in order to get it to that level that you want. You want it at this level. You know what this level is because you don't know what 0 is. You don't know what 100 is because you're not tracking it.
Right.
And business is math. And so just like your body is math. It's very simple. Like they call it macros and that whole thing. Like if you truly understand like how much water you need to intake versus protein intake versus if you take a certain thing that you might think is healthy for you because your DNA, it might actually be doing you harm.
Right.
Like that was a huge thing that I learned. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's why I was like, Dr. J, 1, we need to do a podcast together like ASAP. And number 2, I need to get in your office because if you can do that with Tommy Mello, I'm okay. My body is okay. I'm not fat, not over shape. Some people think I'm doing okay. I'm okay. I hate okay. I want them to be like, I want like we call it the Tommy Mello effect. Like that's what I want to be like, holy shit, Jason, you've been putting in the work.
Yep.
But I'm willing to take a shortcut with you and a shortcut with my trainer. I already started meal prep 3 months ago. I'm already starting to see like consistency with that. So all those things are paying off. But I think you're another one of those shortcuts. Don't think shortcut in a bad thing. That's a mindset. A shortcut in a great way to get to where I want to go. And you're going to help me get there.
Yep. That's the way to. So, and that is how you become a superhuman entrepreneur. You are your greatest asset. Before you can lead others in any meaningful way, you need to be able to invest in your own growth, your own personal development, your own health, your own mindset. Not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone's cut out to be able to deal with that much stress. You need to be able to balance that. Results come from discipline, not just motivation. If you're enjoying the podcast, help us reach more entrepreneurs like you by leaving a review. As a thank you, everyone who leaves a 5-star review will be entered into a drawing for some exciting prizes. We are here to help you more than just listen. Head over to superhumanentrepreneur.com, click on community, and join a powerful network of entrepreneurs that are striving to be their best. Each episode includes action steps, resources, and accountability to help you to implement these ideas and start seeing results.